subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Like right here, we got Bushmeat Barrister in here. The Nigerian tether. What's up, Bushmeat?
Hey, Tariq. A new study came out. It was all over X. It said that 50% of Black women have herpes in America. And numerous people try to ask Grok AI if this was true, and Grok AI confirmed the fact that 50% of Black women in America have herpes.
Right.
That's so nasty. I mean,
Many of them are your fellow immigrants, sir. Those are your fellow immigrants. Y'all have herpes and HIV. I've already told you this and broke this down. Many of these are people from your homeland, the women from your homeland, and a lot of the people from Caribbean and all of that. So you got to add all of those numbers in there. All right? Tom Bushmeat?
no, that's not true. The Grok AI confirmed that the vast
No,
majority of them are actually
no, it didn't.
Black women
Oh,
of
no,
American descent.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no, because they don't.
primarily living in Alabama.
They don't disaggregate the numbers. They don't disaggregate the numbers, sir. They don't.
Well, it's like an epidemic. Like it's pretty much half of Black women in this country.
Yeah,
They have her.
immigration, because we see what happens and how the diseases are in your homeland, right? We see how rampant the diseases
This
are.
is not about Africa. This
Yeah,
is
but it's about immigration and the people who come from there.
It's not about
Yeah,
Africa or
so, because we see how rampant those diseases are. And I've already broken this down before. We see how rampant those diseases are in your homeland. It's at epidemic proportions. And Obama and those guys lifted the ban from people who had diseases and allowed them to come over here. For a long time, if you had diseases, they couldn't let you come over here. Obama lifted that. So all them epidemics of diseases in your homeland, they were flooding that shit over here. Let's be real. Let's just be real with it. Let me get Ty Powell in here. Brother Ty, hop on in.
Can you hear me?
I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me, Flex?
you.
Yeah, but Bussy Meat Barrister is lying. The disease for herpes, it's actually from white men.
Mm,
Yeah, it's actually from white men, and you're right. They don't disaggregate the numbers because of immigration. The numbers in 2024 have increased because of the Caribbean and African descent coming over here already having the HSV virus.
yep.
So he's lying. So Bussy Meat is lying.
Hmm.
He's lying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Alan.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I got receipts, dude. I can post some receipts. I might do that on my timeline a little later, showing that a lot of people who come from Africa and the Caribbean, they bring diseases. A lot of them bring diseases. Shit, that's a reality. I'm not trying to beat up on them. And again, I talked about HIV in the early '80s. The four H's, what the media said, it was coming from the ground zero was four H's: hemophiliacs, heroin users, homosexuals, and Haitians. They were saying it was coming directly out of Haiti. Why? Because of them gay white men would go down there. Haiti was a sex tourism hotspot for white men who would organize these sex tours out of San Francisco and New York. They were going down to Haiti in the 70s and 80s. That was a big thing that nobody talks about. Them niggas was out there spreading bussy on the beach out there. People don't want to talk about it. I'm not saying that to beat up on y'all. It's something verifiable. Y'all Google what I'm saying, by the way. I'm not making that up. There was I talked about this before. They had magazines and these LGBT travel guides called Spartacus, and it talked about how Haiti was a go-to spot for them to go down there and get them some bussy. That's a reality. I'm sorry. So yeah, you're not gonna come up here with that bullshit, bushmeat. Let's get Sister Miriam in here.
Thank you, Brother Tariq. How are you, beloved?
I'm good, dear. How are you, sis?
I'm wonderful. Every time that doofus come up here, disgusting, sassy, moist, white talking points, having Bussy meat barrister come up here. He's always have foundational Black American freedmen women names in his mouth.
Yeah.
He fell out of his mom's vagina, and so do the rest of them, with all those diseases and the water bug, water moccasin, water balloon heads, you know, and the ash. The ash is just so blinding. And he knows for a fact that those women over there are, and the men are just full of diseases. All the missionaries that came over there and stuff, they're a hotbed for diseases. And not only that, they they also, have the baby daddy scandals going on, the paternity scandal
Oh yeah.
going on.
Oh yeah.
So it's really sickening and saddening. But I wanted to first and foremost give all praises and respect to our ancestors and those who came before us, like you were putting it down, Brother Tariq. I love you for what you do
Mhm.
and for what you provide. They definitely deserve the glory, and we need to protect our lineage and our culture and our history, our story at all costs. Thank you, brother. Salute to you.
Thank you so much, dear.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's so very important that we uplift our ancestors. Let me get Cool Keezy in the building. Let's get Cool Keezy. Cool Keezy, what's up, brother? Cool Keezy, where you at, brother? My brother, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Over here at the plantation, you know, post office overnight, moving the mail. But I
Man.
wanted to echo what you said about keeping the truth in rotation, because the lies never sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, FBA is on fire, we can feel it. Everybody playing their role, pushing the line with the truth and consistency. And we got to recognize that, that agent behavior we seeing popping up, it ain't random. It's a direct response to power.
Mm-hmm.
ACS making them power moves, and because the grassroots, we move with purpose, and then that's when they start panicking, and we not following for it. We locked in, and that's all I got. Momentum's are though.
Yeah,
Shout out to the family.
yeah. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. All right. Brother's getting his job on. Much respect to him. But listen, like Sister Miriam and I were saying, man, it's very important for us to really honor and protect our lineage and our ancestors. Because listen, our ancestral honor, that's the foundation of identity and ethnogenesis. See, our foundation of Black American identity is not just cultural, it's lineage based. It comes from a unique historical, spiritual struggle that no other group shares. When these outsiders attack our ancestors by downplaying slavery, mocking resistance movements, minimizing their cultural contributions, they're targeting the root of our damn identity. They're targeting the very root of our foundational Black American identity. If that root is not defended, the entire tree, the culture, pride, self worth, that shit can start withering. You understand? And we've been plants that's been withering. Now we got fresh water now. Now the plant is watered now. And when there's strong roots, there's strong branches, and you can't knock down some shit when a tree that's strong, you can't knock it down. We're getting watered with that respect now. We're honoring those ancestors. That's always been the secret. You always give homage to your ancestors so they can come back and give you the same energy. It's a cycle thing. They give us the energy, we give them the honor. They give us the energy, we give them the honor. The white supremacists know this. That's why they honor their demonic ass ancestors. They put them on money. They build statues on them. All of their demonic ass ancestors, they honor them and keep that demonic spirit alive. All right. We have to do the same thing, keeping that spirit of justice alive. See, honoring the ancestors, that affirms the legitimacy and the sacredness of our foundational Black American ethnogenesis, and it protects it from erasure. These folks want to erase our ass. Y'all understand? African American is a term to erase our ass. We can't let that happen. All the shit our people did, we're going to let tethers and white supremacists just come and erase that and minimize that? Hell no. Ancestors, that's a spiritual force that guides the present. Yeah? The ancestors are not gone. They're spiritual presences. They intercede, they protect, they empower. When we defend that legacy, we activate that spiritual protection. See, the dominant society, they know this. This is why they always got to get us looking over to Africa. They always got to get us looking at Africa all the time, while we skip over these phenomenal people. That's why I said, no, we can't keep focusing on West Africa. So, truth be told, we're focusing on some of the niggas who sold us. We're giving them power. We got to focus on the people on this land that are being systematically erased from history. Yeah, that's who we got to focus on. That's a matter of spiritual protection. When you neglect them and you allow their memory to be disrespected, when you allow their memory, your great ancestors and their memory to be disrespected, that cuts them off from key spiritual energy, man. I'm telling you. This is more than, it's not just historical. This is a cosmic alignment and spiritual continuity, man. And listen, attack on our ancestors, those are proxies for justifying present exploitation. See, when these tethers and outsiders disrespect our ancestors, talking about just picking cotton and all of that, they're trying to justify ongoing exploitation and marginalization of us. Because they try to tell us our ancestors were nothing but akatas, then they're saying, well, you don't deserve anything right now. See, that West African shit with them calling us akatas, that goes to a real big, deep level of disrespect. That goes to a whole different level of disrespect. Because they're disrespecting our ancestors when they say that, and us too. So we have to defend those ancestors. And when we do that, we defend the present and the future people of the lineage. You see, because memory, that's a weapon in psychological warfare. See, we've been subjected to generational trauma, psychological warfare, where history is rewritten, heroes are replaced. They try to blame the enslaved people for their own conditions. They sit here. The white supremacists did so much damage, they have to make it illegal to even teach about the shit they did in schools. They have to take some of the stuff out of schools. That's how heavy it is. It's up to us to say, no, we're going to talk about what happened. We're never going to forget. We're going to honor those people who survived you demonic ass white supremacists. And we're not going to surrender the weapon of memory. We're going to remember that. See, when we tell our own ancestral story, when we start talking about resistance, genius, survival, spiritual power, see, we turn that into a shield and a sword against cultural genocide. See, cultural ownership, that's tied to ancestral legacy. Family, there's a reason why these people sit here and try to denigrate us, talk about the culture we don't have, and we ain't this and we ain't that, but appropriate every damn thing we do: the music, the style, the dance, the slang, the clothes, the food. Yeah? We got to stop letting folks do that and let them know where the source is. We have to protect the source. You got that from our ancestors. And if outsiders don't see that we, foundational Black Americans, don't fiercely defend our lineage, they assume that the culture is up for grabs. So we have to, as foundational Black Americans, rigorously honor and celebrate and defend our ancestors, name them, build monuments. That's why down at the Hidden History Museum, we got Dr. Welsing, Biddy Mason, Dr. John Henry Clark. We're showing you the ancestors that they try to forget. We build monuments to them. We tell their stories. And see, the cultural theft becomes harder. So you start celebrating those FBA ancestors, that's a way to start staking permanent claim to what was built and earned through blood and brilliance, not no damn immigration. Don't ever let people lump us into some immigration story. That's disrespectful to our ancestors. You understand? We had to deal with this shit 10 toes down. We're the only people who faced these white supremacists and didn't run and didn't flee and survived with the most powerful military in recorded history and stood 10 toes down on their ass. That's something to be honored. There's a reason why people are bringing their ass over here. When people, this is what I don't like, when people from African places like that, well, I have to come to America, nigga, because the United States destabilized my homeland, so I'm going to the U.S. If that's the case, nigga, Britain and France, they were the ones who really, really had a foot in your ass. Your ass speaking French for a reason. Why didn't you take an inner tube to France? Because we ain't there. Yeah? You ain't about to really get nothing popping over there. We ain't there. You bring your ass over here where things are popping because of us. That's why I don't want to hear about you, the US destabilize you. No, all types of European powers destabilize you guys. You never go up there to them. Yeah, see, people talk this crap about us, but the minute they get in a pickle, we're the first people they call. Remember up there in the Ukraine when some of them African immigrants were getting thrown under the bus when the Ukraine-Russia thing happened, and they were trying to evacuate people, and you got all them Nigerians and Ghanaians and all of them. They weren't even calling on their damn government. They were on TV. Hey, where's Beyonce? I need Oprah Winfrey. Where is Judge Mathis? I need Evelyn Champagne King to help me. They're just calling every foundational Black American they can think of. Where's Keith Sweat? I need someone to help me, nigga. So yeah, when things get hot, we always are the ones everybody want to call on. Everything comes around to us. Just like with all this shit going on with immigration. Ain't nobody saying nothing about the white people who's throwing you up out of here. You ain't saying nothing about them. The whole argument is how come FBAs ain't helping us? Well, shit. We ain't helping because you said we need to leave the white man alone. So that's what we doing. Leave him alone. Let's get Professor Allen. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, family? What's going on, Tariq? I'm gonna be real quick. I just want to identify something about that barrister, bushmeat barrister character that keeps coming up in here.
Yeah.
A lot of things we deal with out of him and people like him is projection.
Yeah.
In my room the other night, I had a real Nigerian who said that he said Nigerians are a problem. He Nigerian saying this in Nigeria. He said Nigeria need to be disintegrated.
Damn.
But family, check this out. What Bushmeat Barrister needs to consider and deal with is Nigeria was named by a white woman named Flora Shaw, and what I found out last night, family, is out of disrespect. She named it Nigeria as a play on words. Y'all know what Nigeria means? It means the N word area. That over there is the nigger area. We're gonna call it Nigeria. Deal with that.
Mm, man. Thank you so much, brother. Damn, Bushmeat. No wonder he's always over here projecting. Let's get Sister Brooke, then I get Great Black Shark. Sister Brooke,
Hello, good night. How are
hey
you?
beloved, how are you, dear?
I am good. It's so funny that you have Professor Alan on here because I'm going to talk about what we talked about yesterday. So yesterday I was in their room and I mentioned that I took it a step further, what you were saying about us cloning our ancestors. Remember when you were saying specifically that because we have been um, uh, focusing on our ancestors that they have been coming to help us
Yeah.
by burning down these plantations.
Hmm?
So I want to take it a step further, right? I want you alluded to it earlier. So We were calling the wrong ancestors before.
Yes.
We were Pan-Africanists. We were calling the ancestors that sold us. That is why we were getting the energy we were getting. We were getting this backbiting energy that was seemed to be in charge and in leadership and moving up in the world because we were calling the wrong ancestors. We were calling the ones who sold us. Now we are all focusing on our ancestors as a whole and individually. We are calling names that haven't been called on this side and this realm in hundreds of years. And I alluded to, I called the wrong movie name yesterday because I'm turning into one of them old black people that get the name wrong and everything.
Mhm.
Um, I said El Cantante, but it's not. It's Coco.
Oh,
The movie is. You ever seen the movie Coco? I know you got kids.
mhm.
You ever seen the movie Coco?
Yes.
Okay, so you remember how um you had to put the ancestors up on the Miranda and you had to call them for them to be able to come over to the other side. And I think that our ancestors couldn't help us because we weren't calling them. And now we are calling their names. We're digging them up. We're finding their graves. We're finding out their names. We're finding out who married who did what. We're celebrating their accomplishments. Their names haven't been called in years, and now we're calling them, and they're responding. And that's all I have to say. I'm going to land my plane there. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much. That's a very good point. Um, Great Black Shark, hop on, brother.
Salute to you, black man. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Man, I want to double down on something you were talking about these STD rates that clown, that incel tell the Bushmeat barrister came over here talking about. It's a great time for us to be in the information age at this hour of our history where we're taking pride in our lineage and we're not just taking people's words because they say something and they're white.
Mm.
All we have to do is go back to the time when Barack Obama started letting them people over here that had these diseases.
Yes.
Look at how high the disease rates are in these countries where they come from, in Africa and the Caribbean. Nobody's denigrating anybody, just telling the truth. Look at that and then start to cross-reference those numbers with the states and cities that they migrate to the most. They can't say that there's not a direct correlation to that because that would be insane. If you lump them all in and call everybody black and black American, then that definitely would have to factor in. And lastly, I'll say this. When it comes to that word Akata, they think that it's denigrating us, but actually, again, in the information age, when we know what things mean and we actually use our minds, that term is actually condemning them because if we're wildcats away from home, then who were the people that sold us? Well, that's their plan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, like Sister Brooke was saying, man, we were calling on the wrong ancestors. We were calling on the wrong damn ancestors, man. See, not all ancestors are aligned with your struggle, family. See, we were taught to revere all African ancestors, and that included some of these musty Negroes who sold some of us. All spirits are not righteous. All of the ancestors are not aligned with your liberation. Calling on people who betrayed your bloodline, that invites confusion. That's a spiritual interference. That's misaligned energy. Now, when we start calling on the FBA ancestors who actually fought on American soil, the ones who resisted, survived, rebelled, and built, we're aligning with spirits that understand the foundational Black American struggle firsthand. I'm telling you, the energy, as you see, family, look at the power that we're exerting now, just acknowledging our lineage. We got these shook. These folks don't know how to act. We are moving the political weight, the cultural weight. We're moving the realm here just by really acknowledging our lineage. These people are pulling their damn hair out. There's chaos among them. You understand what I'm saying? Notice the chaos among them. We're good right now. Notice how people keep trying to drag us into chaos every day. You FBA niggas, you need to be out here at the ICE detention center. No, we don't. You niggas are going to be next. No, we're fine. We're fine. They just keep trying to drag us in the mix. They're trying to drag us in chaos. We're wrapped under the protection of our ancestors right now. That's why we out here line dancing, and that's pissing these folks off. Folks got to look under their beds, look under their windows, hide, lay low in the car. You can't go outside. Man, we out here with fans and tambourines and shit and boots, big ass hats, outside like I'm. We're not a care in the world. You understand? And people keep trying to drag us. Oh, you need to be scared too. You got to hide with me. No, I don't. I'm not about to be hiding in the closet with you. It's dark and musty in there. I'm not going in there. I'm good. Ain't nobody looking for me. We good. And no disrespect. But listen, misplaced ancestral worship, that leads to spiritual disempowerment. Praising foreign ancestors while ignoring your own lineage, that creates a spiritual disconnect. That's like you plugging into the damn wrong power source. It'll give a spark, but it won't empower. You honor your ancestors who fought. You don't honor the people who sold your ass in the captivity and still got the same damn mindset. See, a lot of us, we were unknowingly calling on spirits that had no interest in our damn freedom. That's why for so long there was stagnation. You see? And I think spiritually, we woke up with Obama. Obama's a damn tether. Obama's the worst thing that happened to us. Obama was not a win at all. So many of us got killed under Obama. That Kenyan tether. So many foundational Black Americans were slaughtered under this fool who didn't do a damn thing, and his other tether ass DOJ Eric Holder didn't do nothing. It didn't punish one white person for harming us. You understand? You start calling on spirits and bringing in people who have no interest in our freedom or safety. There's stagnation. Now we're embracing our true ancestral line. They're receiving spiritual clarity, and we're getting spiritual protection and power. This land holds the spirit of the true ancestors, man. Ancestral power is tied to land and blood spilled. Our people's blood is in this soil, man. Our ancestors who died in them cotton fields, who ran on the Underground Railroad, who revolted in Nat Turner's rebellion, who endured Jim Crow. Those are the ones that's rooted on American soil. Calling on somebody from a distant land, that disconnects us from our sacred energy embedded into our immediate environment. When you honor your ancestors on this land, that opens up a stronger local and spiritually active connection that will respond. That's why places like Lake Lanier is active. New Orleans, that energy is active. You understand? Certain places, the energy is active. That's why a lot of these plantations, we've been calling on these ancestors, showing them respect. These plantations are catching on fire. Trees are falling down on these plantations just out the blue. Do you think that's a coincidence? That's not a coincidence. Yeah? See, real progress started to happen when foundational Black Americans started reclaiming our specific lineage. It's no coincidence the whole rise of the movement and the delineation movement and reparations conversations, political shifts, cultural awakenings. It started when we stopped running around here talking about Pan-African slogans. Can we be real? And that's not to disrespect. I ain't disrespecting anybody. If you Pan-African, now knock yourself out. We stopped chanting that and start naming the Harriet Tubmans, Denmark, VCs, Ida B. Well, we start naming the people here, giving them their props and praise. We start making everything lineage based, and we weren't all generic. You start calling the right names, the right doors open. Never forget out there in Montgomery, at Fade in the Water. I always bring this up. Some sisters went out there and had a root work ceremony and honored the ancestors. They went out there and gave flowers and plants and roots to the water because that waterway was very important for slavery at the time. A lot of our ancestors in that water down there. 2 hours after that happened, the black folks out there rose up on them white supremacists and whooped on them in that infamous video. 2 hours after they sat there and gave props to the ancestors, brothers were literally coming out of the water, draped in that ancestral energy. You understand? And nothing happened to them. They whooped on them white supremacists and nothing happened. They were spiritually protected. See, spiritual protection comes from those who share your journey, family. See, our ancestors, they went through a specific, unique, sacred suffering. Chattel slavery, broken families, rebellions, chain gangs, black codes, redlining, cultural theft. So only they know what foundational Black Americans need in this life because they walked it. They walked that. And when we honor those ancestors, see, we tap into a tailor-made spiritual armor. It was forged from the same fire. So outside ancestors might not protect you. They might even resent your ass, to be honest. But your foundational Black American ancestors, they will fight for you in both realms. You will never lose with them. Always get proud. That's why the movie Sinners, it was really about that. They couldn't remember. They had the hoodoo bags and the mojo bags on them. And those mojo bags were protecting them from evil spirits. He couldn't turn into a vampire. He couldn't get bitten because he had a mojo bag, which was something you used to honor your ancestors here. Our good brother Ryan Coogler, he understood what that was about. He understood what that was about. That was very important. So you fight for your FBA ancestors. Edgar Hoover.
Can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you. What's going on?
What's up, man? Long time fan, man. Just listening to you talk, man. The topic done kind of moved from here and there in terms of what people are calling about, but I like what you're saying, man. And I just want everybody listening to this to understand when you scroll through your feed and you see these videos on YouTube or wherever you see these videos at, these people are making a conscious decision to come here to America to do this to us.
Yeah.
This isn't, they're not guessing. When you see them repeating stereotypes that are played out and we know are debunked, they're not guessing. They're not pulling those out of their hat. They're watching what white people say and they're making a conscious decision to join them against us.
Yes.
This is not, it's not a game. They're doing this. So when you guys see this, what we got to understand is we don't have a form of consequence for them yet. There's a consequence that goes to speaking rhetoric the way they do, knowing that it emboldens the unhinged people in their community to do something to us physically.
Now, let me say this. We do have a consequence. And I say we do have a consequence, and we're exercising it now, letting them hold their own nuts. See, that's the consequence for them, not putting on the cape for them, just sitting it out, letting them fend for themselves. Listen, that's the consequence. That's why they're running around screaming for us to come help them right now. See, that's the great thing about utilizing soft power. Sometimes all you got to do is withdraw. Just take your power away, take your assistance away. See, they sat up here and ran a Jedi mind trick. They sat up here lying, talking about, oh, we're doing better, nigga, because we work hard. We work so we got a work ethic. We work so hard. Okay. No, the real deal, we kept telling them, hey, you're really getting shit popping because of us. We're helping you. We've helped you. All of these little programs, you got them because of us. Now that we're saying, you know what, we've delineated, handle your business model, minority, knock yourself out. Now, what are they doing? Crying, getting deported, running around hiding, locking doors, ducking in your cars. Yeah, us letting them hold their own damn nuts. That's the punishment right there. We ain't got to do nothing to them. That's not our, we ain't got to go out here hurting nobody. No. Certain people, you just take the support away from them because they get this sense of entitlement. Yeah, we know where it's coming from. We know where the support is coming from. The support is coming from us. You're only getting shit popping because of us, and we're showing you that. Miss Hot Seat, hop on, dear.
Hi, Tariq. Thank you so much for having me. I just have one question quickly. I just want to ask for FBA people, how many generations back does it have to go for them to be considered like FBA? Thank you.
1800s. Yeah. If you were around here in the 1800s during slavery, if you can be on them census forms in the 1870s, you are foundational Black American because you were here during the building of this country. That's what it is. If you were here during the building of this country, especially during slavery, then you are foundational Black American. Many of us, some of us can go all the way back. We can trace on paper to the mid 1700s. Me, I can trace back to the mid 1700s before the country was founded. When we were still at the 13 colonies. Let's get this guy here, racist intellectual. Got a very interesting name. Racist intellectual politics, Mr. Politics. Hop on in, sir. Racist intellectual. Hop on in, man. All right, waiting on him to come on through. I want to hear what he has to say to see if he's a racist intellectual. All right. Get your microphone and get your thing is still kind of janky. Let's see what's up. Let's get woke pilot while we're waiting on you, racist intellectual. Let's get woke pilot in the building. What's up, woke? How are you, sir?
I also wanted to say about those tethers. I was watching something about this other brother was trying to downplay you and try to say that you were separating our community. And me listen to that video, I said, obviously y'all haven't been hearing nothing our brother Tariq been breaking down over these years when it talks about delineating.
Yeah.
So I let people. I was thinking, man, like, dog. I mean, you trying to tear down my brother Tariq making this video when we already know what it is. See, he trying to trick other FBAs to think that you the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we gotta stay up on that, brothers and sisters online right now. We gotta stay up on that because they trying to make videos to separate us, and we don't need that going on today. But I'm a land. Thank you, brother Tariq.
Thank you so much, brother. Yeah. This whole narrative, they love to try to blame me. Well, that nigga Tariq is separating us and all of our global power. Separating from what? Just ask them that. What do we have going on together that needs to be separated? You got to have something, a joint venture, in order to separate it. What the hell do we got going on with you guys, the tether class? What we got going on with you that needs to be separated? Y'all ain't got nothing going on. There's nothing to separate. What, you coming over here eating off us? That's what they're saying. When they say these niggas trying to separate us, no, that means y'all can't come over here and exploit us. Yeah, I'm stopping that. You can't come over here and put on a baseball hat and a do-rag and cover up your hairline and start acting as our representative. You damn right you can't do that no more. You can't do that. You ain't leeching off of us no more. No, everybody's gonna have to come to the table with respect and equal tangibles. You got to bring in some shit to the table and pull your weight. When they say I'm divisive, oh, you niggas are divisive, that means you FBAs, you're stopping us from leeching off of you. We ain't getting nothing from you over there in Africa or the Caribbean. Y'all won't even let us in CARICOM, none of your organizations and groups. No, you don't have anything for us to split up. And we're not letting you leech off of us no more. Let's get a moon, A shows. Let's get A shows.
Hi, Tariq. I'm always happy to hear from you and all that you do for the community. So I first wanted to start off with
Thank you.
that. I wanted to piggyback off of how you were talking about us honoring our ancestors and our lineage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, when they get into spirituality, they get into ATRs, which are African traditional um, religions, and a lot of us do not belong there. There are even other people in the African diaspora saying that a lot of us don't belong there, not because there's something wrong with it, but sometimes they are interacting with spirits that just do not align with us, and it's some dangerous stuff to get involved in. I actually also almost found myself into a situation like that, but I ended up going on a trip with some people to New Orleans. And when I tell you, my ancestors pulled me up out of that shit so quick.
Mm,
So I just want to thank you for this awareness, because it goes into so many different things. It's spiritual,
yeah.
it is it's relevant to what's going on right now. There are so many different avenues that you are having us tap into, and I think people need to understand where it goes. It's just not one thing. You're not being divisive, you're not, being negative, you're not being all these things that people are trying to put you at. If they really look at what you're doing, it's very strategic, and it's opening up the minds of so many people on so many different levels. And I just want to say thank you. I always tap in, and you are just such a beautiful brother. And I even myself do workings for you to protect
Oh,
you, because we all need to be doing that.
I appreciate that big time, dear. Thank you so much, beloved. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I just refuse to let our ancestors and our lineage and our people and you. I just refuse to let us be disrespected. Yeah, it just got so bad. Obama, when he was in office, he would point his little moist finger at us, wagging his finger without giving us any protection, trying to shame us. And oh man, all of these non-FBAs would come over here and get in positions, and everything would be about disrespecting us and the name calling, the Akata this, and oh, we work harder than you, and y'all got all this crime in Chicago, and then the Candace Owens, and I just kept seeing a pattern. I just kept seeing a pattern of all of these people denigrating us. I said, wait a minute, all these people are foreign. All these people denigrating us, most of them are foreign. They're not even from here. There's something to that. And I start looking deeper and deeper, and then going into some of their forums and listening to how they talk when they thought we weren't around. And boy, they really would go into us. A lot of them just harbor deep contempt for us and our lineage, and a lot of it is based in jealousy and contempt, and it's literally tethering. They want to come over and literally replace us, downgrade us, tell us we aren't nothing, we're lost, we're some undefined, vague group of people, and then they can slide in and take over our culture and claim it as their own. I said no, and the ancestors tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Don't let that happen."
Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check.